Number 9, probably the hardest question on this section, and an example of one of the hardest questions, perhaps the hardest question that the ACT asks on the English section. And it's not that hard. Remember, this is not a complex test, it's a very simple test. Even the hardest questions are quite simple. The triangular shape is an illusion resulting from one significant addition to the process dust. When I first read this sentence a few years ago, I had no idea what it meant. It took me 10 seconds to figure out what they're actually trying to say. And it shows you how important punctuation is. Punctuation allows people to understand what's being written or what's being said. It promotes meaning. That's why we use punctuation, to make meaning clear. We don't use it just because it's pretty or for fun. We use it to promote meaning. So eventually everybody goes, oh, what they're trying to say is the triangular shape is an illusion resulting from one significant addition to the process, which is dust. Okay. And you could actually say that. You could have said a significant addition to the process, comma, which is dust. That would have been fine. It would have been too wordy. But normally we shorten things down. For example, I gave a gift to Joe, comma, my best friend, right? You don't have to say who is my best friend. You can say Joe, comma, my best friend. Same thing here. One significant addition to the process, comma, dust. That's how you would probably have written it yourself, but they don't give you that option. Strange. So what's the answer? Well, this is a difficult question, and when you have difficult questions, remember, there are two ways to answer a question. One is to recognize the correct answer. Great, normally you will, but sometimes on a hard one, you won't immediately recognize, or maybe you may not even recognize at all the correct answer, but you can eliminate the wrong ones. Okay, process of elimination, a crucial test-taking technique that I almost take for granted because it's just part of my DNA. It's such an obvious thing to me. It's like the air that we breathe. That when you're dealing with a multiple choice standardized test, process of elimination is incredibly helpful, especially on difficult questions. Remember Sherlock Holmes, a great detective, and his sidekick Watson said, "Good God, Holmes, how do you do it?" And Sherlock Holmes says, "Elementary, my dear Watson. I merely eliminate all the possibilities that cannot possibly be correct so that whatever remains, however strange or unlikely, must be the truth." Same thing here. Let's look at the answer choices. Process dust, impossible. You've got to have some punctuation between those two words. How about B? The triangular shape is an illusion resulting from one significant addition to the process is dust. Whoa, 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 whoa. That sounds terrible, right? It's adding a verb unnecessarily and ruins the sentence. How about D, the semicolon? Okay, you can use a comma, but you can't use a semicolon. How come? A semicolon acts just like a period. We'll talk more about semicolons next in the next class, but a semicolon is a full stop. Impossible. And that leaves C, a colon. Oh my gosh. And we'll talk more about colons next class too. You can use a colon in this construction. Very, very, very few students, I'd say 1 in 100 would know this, okay? And that's why I say it's a very difficult question. But you could have answered this by process of elimination quite easily, even if you'd never seen a colon used this way. All right, number 10.